Most of the time in marketing, we discuss three important concepts: need, want, and demand. In this particular session, we will be trying to understand what exactly these three concepts are and what are the different types of needs, wants, and demands. These three things are the core concepts of marketing. A better understanding of these three concepts will help the marketer to develop better marketing strategies. Let's try to understand what is need, want, and demand. As per the definition of need is a state of felt deprivation. When you feel that something you lack, basically you have a need. When you feel that there is a need, probably something you don't have, probably you lack it. And that's why you try to express it. Want is when you are going to specify your needs. But at the same time, demand is when your need, want are very much backed by purchasing power. The different types of needs have been identified by Kotler, and these needs are stated need. Stated need is when the customer could able to express what exactly he is requiring, and the customer really asks for the product. So when the customer could able to say what exactly he is requiring, he is basically expressing his stated need. When your customer is expressing about his need of a mobile phone having 64 GB memory and probably close to 48 megapixel camera, then you could able to understand he is thinking about a product which is called a mobile phone, and he could able to tell what exactly he is looking for. In case of a real need, the customer could able to state actually what they required. If you continue with the example of the mobile phone, the customer may be able to tell you he requires a mobile phone of specification like 64 GB memory and 48 megapixel camera, but he expects the phone to be functional, or he can call and he can use it for multiple purposes. Real need is something what your stated need is actually means. Unstated needs are what the customers are also expecting from the product, but they don't express these things. And if you don't ask them, they're not going to tell you about it. So unstated needs sometimes implied needs, and here the customer won't be able to tell what exactly they require, but they expect it in a product. Delight needs are needs that the customers are looking as essential part of the product, and if these things are part of the product, they would be highly delighted. So if you continue with the mobile phone example, the unstated need would be a mobile phone with a high definition camera, price is very less. Delight need means when the customers are actually going to get a particular product, so many other features are available, so the customers are delighted. Secret needs are the customers are going to get these things even if they have not expressed it. These are the things mostly intangible in nature. We can say a quality product with quality brand. Even secret needs are that when the customer is expecting a very branded product which the other customers would love to have it, or maybe the customer is going to get a lot of social acceptance while using the product. These are the secret needs. We want to buy a car, that is a stated need. But the real need is that what actually we require. In that case, we actually require a car whose operating cost is very low. Unstated need is that what we don't mention. At the same time, what we expect from this car is that the company should provide good services and even maintenance. At the same time, the delight need would be when the customers get more than what they expect from the car. And here, a features where the customers are not expecting, but they're getting without paying a single penny. Secret needs are that the customers are not going to accept these things. They would be reluctant to admit of these needs, but they express in a different form. They don't express in a direct sense, but they always give a lot of indication about these needs. That means in case of a car, the customer will always try to have a car which is a branded one, and everybody knows about the car, and everybody secretly wants to have that car, so that when the customer is having that car, he will feel socially acceptable, or maybe his psychological needs are going to be satisfied. Most of the time, the secret needs are emotional in nature. That's why marketers used to create brands. Brands used to give distinction, and secret needs are part of this nature of having ourselves distinct from the market. So let's try to understand want. Want means, as I said, it is when the needs are specified. One thing you remember, needs may be not very clear, distinct, but wants are very distinct. The need has a limit, but the wants are limitless. When you express something part of your need, that is your want, you can imagine if I'm hungry, I can simply state I'm hungry. That means I need food. But when I'm talking about want, I can tell n number of foods which can satisfy my hunger. In that sense, need has a limit, but wants are unlimited. But marketer is trying to find out this unlimited into unlimited products. As I already expressed, demand is when the customer is going to pay for the product, or the customer is having the purchasing power to back its need and wants. There can be different types of demands. First is negative demand. Negative demand means the product is disliked, the customer doesn't want it. So negative demand means sometimes the customer will pay to avoid these products also. In that case, I can tell you that there is hardly people are interested to use that particular product, but the product might be very relevant in terms of its uses and implication in the market. One classic example of negative demand can be insurance. We hardly think about insurance, which sometimes we try to avoid paying insurance premium in right time. Let's try to understand the second type of demand is unwholesome demand. Unwholesome demand means when the products that we are interested to buy are actually not in demand, but we are very much interested to use it. Sometimes these products are socially undesirable products. So when the products are socially undesirable and we feel there is a demand for it, and that demand is unwholesome demand. We can give examples of cigarette, alcohol. Let's try to understand another demand. It's called no demand. No demand means you can say almost there is zero demand of the product. That means sometimes we can say there is a product in the market, nobody is really interested to buy that product, there is hardly any demand. Example can be there are certain education courses where nobody is interested to enroll because it doesn't have any relevance. It is not going to give you job, or it is not going to give you any kind of career progress. So similarly, there is no demand. So in this case, when there is a no demand, the marketer need to revisit the product and try to develop certain features of the product which can be more benefit useful for the customer. Then latent demand. Latent demand means the customers want a product, but there is no product available in the market with that feature. So in this case, the customers will always try to accept something related to that product once the product will be available in the market. So people will buy those products immediately. So customers will always try to think that the features they require will obviously be available in the market in the latter phase. Sometimes latent demands are called latter demands. Here, the marketers need to identify which are the features are going to be more benefit for the customers, and there is a requirement of those benefits to be inducted in the product so that the customer will be able to purchase it. Then declining demand. Declining demand means the product is no more in demand, and probably it has already, the need has moved to some other products, And I can tell you that today we are not interested using iPods in a declining demand. Today we are not interested to use typewriters as a declining demand. Let's move to another kind of demand, which is called irregular demand. Irregular demand means it is called inconsistent demand, or sometimes the products are seasonal in nature. That's why we cannot have similar kind of sales figures each and every month. And the next one is full demand. Full demand means the demand and supply is very much met. Here we find that exactly how much we produce and how much we try to supply, there is a demand in the market. The product is perfectly performing. Let's try to understand another demand, which is called overfull demand. Overfull demand means a situation where the demand of the product is more than the supply. So here we don't have the products, adequate number of products in the market. We don't have the adequate units of the product in the market, but there are a lot of customers who are interested to buy this product. Imagine there was a time when the telecommunication in telecom sector, connection of a landline was a big demand, a huge demand. At the time, BSNL couldn't able to provide the services to the customers. So in case of overfull demand, marketer need to ensure something called demarketing, because if customers are not going to be given a different kind of demarketing strategy in case of overfull demand, marketer won't be able to manage its marketing activities in the market. So we understood different types of demand, and these demands are negative demand, unwholesome demand, no demand, latent demand, declining demand, irregular demand, full demand, and overfull demand. So this session you could able to understand how demand is important. This session could able to tell you that how need, want, and demands are very important and fundamentals of marketing. A better understanding of need, want, and demand will help the marketer. So hopefully this session will help you to understand these core concepts of marketing. Thank you very much for giving attention. Do subscribe the channel and comment.